Well, yesterday, in an op-ed piece for Time magazine, Senators Jeff Flake of Arizona and Tim Kaine of Virginia slammed the Congress's inaction. They wrote, ISIS must take comfort in the seeming ambivalence of Congress. Well, Senator Flake now has a bill in the works with Dianne Feinstein of California, which they're calling a bipartisan solution to the Syrian refugee issue. I'm joined by Republican Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona. He's a member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator Flake, you've always struck me as nuanced in your politics, which is always impressive these days. There's not much of that around. How do we deal with a refugee situation? I've been asking why 4 million refugees from Syria only include 4 individuals willing to fight ISIS. Why are they all conscientious objectors? Why is a country leaving a country behind? Why aren't they fighting for their country in Syria? Just that question. I'd like your answer.
Well, you would hope that they would want to fight for their country, and I think a lot of them probably are willing to. It's been tough, though, given the situation there and all the competing groups they're fighting to, I guess, have them involved. So, unfortunately, as you mentioned, 4 million of them have left the country.
What do we do with the ones who want to come here? How do we get people in this country without having the problem like we had in Paris? One of the refugees that came in was part of the terrorist operation on Friday night.
Right. Well, we do have a pretty thorough vetting process, and I know the president was very critical of those the governors and others who were concerned about this, but frankly, the administration hasn't done a very good job explaining what this process is. And I'm comfortable with the process. Frankly, of all the concerns we have out there, and there are many, the refugee program is probably down the list a bit. The regular visa programs that we have, asylum programs that we have, those are of much more concern, and the visa waiver program that we have that Senator Feinstein and I will address tomorrow.
How's that work? Tell us what that's going to do. It's news to us.
With visa waiver, we have about 39 countries in the world that it's not required for them to get a visa to come to the U.S. We have a visa waiver program that includes countries of the European Union. So the concern is that a lot of the homegrown terrorists, if you will, that are French citizens or Brits or Germans or others, and unless there's some other thing that disqualifies them, they aren't even required to get a visa to come to the U.S. So what we'll introduce tomorrow is legislation to say that if anybody has traveled to Iraq or Iraq or Syria in the last 5 years from these European countries, they wouldn't qualify for the visa waiver program. They could still come to the U.S., but they would have to go through the process of getting a visa.
I see. Well, that seems moderate. Thank you so much, Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona.